there was an almost immediate reaction from more than one union, representative from more than one union. What does 000 mean for the labor movement?
Well, let me just say that, you know, I'm amazed and amused at the minister's engagement in semantics, you know. So he said 000. He said it's an offer. He said no, it's a wage restraint and not a wage freeze. And I just want to say that our understanding of a wage restraint is an agreement between an employee or the reps and an employer not to demand wage or salary increases. Wage restraint may occur when a company is facing losses or lower profits and needs to live within its means. The employee may receive concessions such as better health insurance in exchange for wage restraint. So the minister is saying that, in a sense, he's saying there was an agreement between somebody and the government to exercise a wage restraint. I would like the minister to say who we agreed to with that, who we agreed that with, you know, because we have absolutely no clue what the minister was talking about. There were never any discussions, and what was more disingenuous and disrespectful was the fact that the labor movement is part of the National Tripartite Advisory Council, which to us is the forum to discuss those high-level economic, fiscal, wage policy issues. There was never any discussions at that forum with respect to that issue. And for the minister to say it, worse again in a forum with the IMF, suggests to us something. And that to us is really a dagger at the heart of the trade union movement. And the minister, that little press conference he called subsequent to that is nothing, because it has done nothing. It has made it worse, because you talk about we are going to put 000 on the table. Come on, who the minister is trying to fool? And again, you know, he talks about when people reach in a particular office, the arrogance, the governance by arrogance takes over, and reason doesn't prevail. And as such, the minister, the prime minister, ought to rein him in. And to me, the minister of labor should now be scolding that minister for placing the whole arrangement and the discourse that we would have held in the past in jeopardy, because we are angry. You know, I'm very angry at that kind of presumptuous stance by the minister. And then there's a kind of talk down somewhat. You know, people go put placard with my name on it and march wrong, but it's 000 we go down offer. Come on, it's a infringement on the free and fair collective bargaining process, and as such, the minister was totally out of place.
You speak of when there's a restraint, and we use the word restraint instead of freeze. There has to be some sort of conversation, one, agreement, two, and
That's right.
a move to deal with infrastructure in terms of health or other conditions.
Other things, that's right.
And we spoke earlier with an economist who was saying that there needs to be a sharing of the burden. It cannot be perceived, it cannot be real or perceived that one group bears the brunt of this. How would you suggest that this be shared if this is to work even after the pronouncement has already been made?
And you see, this is going to take a hell of a lot of maturity to bring this back in, because people have to sit down dispassionately on the table. We are angry, but you have to be mature enough to go in there with the better interests of your workers in the back of your mind. And we have to let the minister know that, and let them know that any other pronouncement like that would lead, or maybe this pronouncement could lead to workers taken to the streets, you know. This is what they have done. So and that's why I said on a previous program, we are demanding that the Minister of Planning call an emergency meeting of the NTAP, this is the Tripartite Advisory Council, one, to deal with that stupidness that the minister did, and to start discussions around how do we, as a tripartite body, deal with the economic challenges so that we could not have social fallout. And I think this is where we thought the discussion was going to go. The labor movement put forward an alternative economic plan to the government. They are not taking it on, but they are engaging in semantics with the IMF and then coming to talk down on the working class. That to us can't work, DK, and it's something that has really angered us to a point where we believe that we need to talk out on it.
Well, thank you so much for the time, Mr. Remy, and I know you're busy this morning, but also for the call for maturity in terms of how we deal with this. And my father used to say, let reason, not passion, be your guide.
That's right, definitely. And we are ready to engage in discussion, but the minister must apologize first. The prime minister must publicly condemn the minister's statement, and maybe he might have to engage in, I don't want to call it reshuffle, but some kind of shuffle, because the minister is not going to win the confidence of anybody by those kind of actions.